October 2019, Zenithstrand.
Don't remember what the event was called.
I can't remember the name of the event, but it doesn't matter because that's all the information that I need to date this file. So, Siobhan and I went, of course, to a LARP game this past weekend. It was Underworld Zenithstrand, as it usually is these days. Mm-hmm. Although I guess it will start happening. Underworld Underflow will start happening too, which I'm excited about. More LARPs. So we went to Zenithstrand. I was playing Aaron, my wild elf that you've all heard about many, many times before. And Siobhan was playing Iman, who also you've probably heard about a bunch of times. We're doing our wild elf Jen Bestman thing this weekend.
Yeah.
Yep. So I guess we start with the trip there?
Yeah.
I don't really think anything significant happened.
We put the stuff on the top of the car, and every time we do that, I have minor panic attacks.
Yeah, the beams that hold up our tent, putting them up on top of the car is always like, I hope it does not break or fall.
Yeah, it's like, I hope I use these straps correctly.
I hope we have tightened it to its maximum tight capacity. Yeah, it's a little bit spooky sometimes, but it has always worked out so far. So I don't, I'm not super worried about it anymore. Yeah. Though I guess we won't have to worry about it at all for like the next 6 months because we're going to the new site soon. Which means that we will be in cabins in the wintertime instead of in tents in fucking freezing ass, goddamn cold as shit last weekend times. It was cold. It was fucking cold. But that's October for you in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, it's like -3 to 4 degrees Celsius at night.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not fun. It's not a good time for LARPing, but you know what? Like we survived it. It was fine. Like blankets and cloaks and woolly sweaters and socks and gloves
and a winter sleeping bag on the outside.
Yeah, and a nice winter sleeping bag over the bed to seal all the heat in. Plus 2 people. I mean, both of us are in there, so it's like the body heat too. Yeah, which is nice. But so yeah, it was cold, and when we got there, it was one of those days where we got there too late for there to be daylight, because like the days are getting shorter because it's when winter is coming. So we're arriving at the same time as we usually would, but the days are shorter. So it's like, oh good, it's pitch darkness. Now let's put up our Gigantor tent. And then like do all that in the dark. So that's fun. I mean, we had lanterns and stuff, but it's just like a whole different feel when you're doing it in the darkness.
Thankfully, there was absolutely no wind.
No, it was like the weather was great because it was basically just like dead air, cold, but no rain or like cloud cover really.
Yeah.
It was just like very cold and very still. Which is what you want when it's cold. Because if it rained, I would have quit. I'd have gone to bed. I'd have never come out again. I'd still be there if it were raining.
Not worth taking down the tent.
No, I'm not. If it's that cold and also rain, fuck that. It's like ice pellets. Yeah. Yeah, they're not quite awful. Fully formed, but it's like, congratulations, slush down the back of your neck. Yeah. I'm not into it. I don't like it at all. Fuck that. But yeah, so that's, that was kind of the weather situation. So it was a little like uncomfortable, and I think I can feel me still adjusting to it not being freezing.
Yeah.
Even now, like the body is just like, okay, you're very cold. So we're just gonna shut all of these valves and like keep all the warm in, and it's like still now I can feel like myself readjusting to the not being freezing. So that's
like when we walked back in the house after just being outside for so long, it felt uncomfortably warm at room temperature.
Yeah.
It was very strange.
Yeah.
I could feel the pressure in my sinuses go as it's like all readjusting. I was like, oh, the air you're breathing isn't cold here.
Yeah.
Weird.
Oh my god, it's not
How did
free.
that
How
happen?
did you do that?
Yeah.
I thought we were in this for another 6 months. Yeah. But so anyway, like that's just like side note, it was fucking cool. But so we set the tent up, we got the camp all ready, and we lent your little tent out to a new person who had come, who was playing in a jaunty, who didn't have anywhere else to stay, that like near friends.
Yeah.
So we were like, of course you can camp in our camp with your friend. Like, I'm not gonna kick you out just because I'm mean in character. Like, that would be really rude.
Yeah.
Like, we'll have a talk, you know, about like who you are and why you're here. But like, it's fine. I didn't really ever have that talk, I have to say. Yeah. But it was just like there wasn't a good time, and I didn't feel like maybe they were like that into it. I didn't want to hit them with the like Aaron stuff like right away.
Like, here's the conflict button.
Yeah, I didn't want to like make it feel like I was being hostile.
Yeah. No, we had some good interactions with our new friend.
Carrot Burrito.
Oh my goodness.
A new meme is born from our friend, the visiting guy, Carrot Burrito. I'll just leave it at that for now. But let's go, like, chronologically, where are we at starting wise here? So I guess the game begins. We went to orientation, but we were there for like the last 2 seconds of it. Because we were busy setting up the tent. We heard some stuff about the Mordegeist. Because this was a Mordegeist game, which means that there's the spooky elf-killing demigod was coming out this game, which is great for all of us elves. It's super cool and fun. And by that I mean I hate it so much. Yeah, so at some point during this game, we were going to have to run and hide really well. Because the Mordegeist has the ability to say, to out loud say, sense elf, and you have to say in a normal speaking voice, here. So if you're hiding in the bushes and he's just like walking by and he's like sense elf, and then you have to say here, and he looks and he's like, well, your hiding spot is fucked, so you better go like far away. You know, you better really, really hide if you want to hide. You basically need to hide out of game. You have to hide so well that nobody sees you, so they don't use abilities to find you. Right. So that was this game, which is great. But like the Mordegeist is the worst. It's just like I hate it. It's a bad mechanic. I don't think I've ever enjoyed a section of the game that contained the Mordegeist as an elf. That's not to say it has not evoked feelings in me. I have been the most paranoid, scared, like, it's okay, I'll sleep in this ditch, you know, like, feeling. The like, in any situation, but it's not fun. It doesn't inspire in me feelings I wish to replicate. But anyway, that's getting ahead of ourselves, isn't it? I'm just sorry. I got a lot of feelings about the Mordegeist. The Mordegeist is stupid. You'd think the mother of all elves would do something about that eventually, but you know, it's fine. It's fine, Leandra. You take your time. Okay. So the game started, and we were in camp, doing the regular stuff. Who did we have this game here? We had Skull and Helene. Ragelin. Yeah, Ragelin was in this game because Tammy was actually playing instead of like running the game. This game, this was her like player side game to like see how it goes with the players. Yeah. So she was playing with us, which is cool. She was in our tent. It's really nice to have her around. She's great influence and great vector for story.
Fee?
Yeah, Fee was in camp. Victor was around. No Lucian. Ival, obviously, was also around. Like we had a bunch of people like in the camp. I may have missed a person or two, but they'll come up in the stories.
Dave was prevented by
Aerolith,
blizzard.
Yeah, Aerolith was unfortunately absent because Dave couldn't get there because a blizzard had closed the road. Which sucks, but you know, better safe than sorry.
Also, Archon.
Also, yeah, Archon was there.
Yeah.
Brett was playing his Gen Vestment, which is an unusual event, so I'm very happy.
Yeah.
Very happy to have Archie in our camp as well.
Spooky little shaman boy.
Yeah. Okay. So the first thing that happened was we got asked to go help break out. We got asked to go help break out some prisoners from a Shattered Sun prison. By Tog and an Einhar. Yeah. Right? That was an Einhar?
Yeah, no, it was another Furbok.
I don't think it was. I think it was an Einhar.
No.
Okay, well, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's relevant anyway. But I'm pretty sure she was an Einhar.
Maybe. I thought she was speaking.
She wasn't talking like a Furbog.
I thought she was.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah. But so we got asked to go and rescue these prisoners from a Shattered Sun prison, and we're kind of at war with the Church of Light / Shattered Sun.
Yeah.
So we're like, yeah, all right, like, I mean, cool. And then we got some more information.
Well, Iman recognized the person Tog was with.
Okay. Yeah.
And she's seen that person come up to Tog and, like, drag him aside and, like, towards, like, all right. So this person's coming for Tog by name. They're not here. And I can see Tog has a little, like, stamp that says, like, I want to be a Dragon Knight.
Yeah. So for those of you with some without the context there, Tog is another player of ours who is trying to become a Dragon Knight of the White Dragon. Zacera, I think it is. Zacera, who is like the consumer and the survivor, basically.
Yeah.
And Siobhan Iman recognized this NPC as somebody who was like led him on that path before. So we were instantly concerned that this was like some Zacera mission, right? And when we asked, they were like, well, yeah, the chieftain is a chieftain of an Einhar clan of Zacera followers, basically.
Well, they never said that.
No, but like they said she's from the islands, so of course it is, which is like, oh, okay, they're all Zacera followers over there? Yeah. Okay, cool. But then they're like, but she's like a political ally and can help us against the Church of Light and stuff. And then we were a bit like, why do we go help this? Because we're like, you know, Siobhan's the Weaver of Sybil on her character. And Sybil is a god, and gods and dragons don't get along. That's the rule, right? Like, dragons and gods and dragons, they are like oil and water. You cannot mix them, and when you do, it never works for long, right? That's kind of the rule, right? I mean, you could say the same thing about like light and dark gods sometimes, but less so. So we don't want to help dragons, right? We have no desire to help dragons, basically. But political ally, Aaron's like, we should do this. Like, we need more allies to beat up the Church of Light. So we dithered a little bit, and then we said like, okay, fine, we'll help you. You know, so we went to go do it, and we sort of set a rule between each other that was like, they don't get to eat any of the bodies. Because the thing that Zacera worshippers always do is try and cannibalize the bodies of their victims, like, right afterward. You know? They'll kill something and then start ripping its arm off to have a snack, which is like, that's no good. We're not going to allow them to do that to these Shattered Sun corpses. Which I assume are going to be corpses, because we're going to go march off and murder them. Which is pretty good. So we went up to the mod area. It's like this little copse of trees. It was like, this is the prison, you know? And there are a bunch of Shattered Sun NPCs, like some guys with stilettos and rogue skills, some guys with like shields and swords and fighter skills, some guys with wizard skills, you know, like mage skills. So it was like a big old mix of stuff, and we got stuck in on the combat. I didn't want to use as many spells as I did, but it was one of those things where it was like, this is actually dangerous, and if I don't pick it up, someone's gonna die. Yeah. You know, so I've got to use my full suite of abilities. Yeah, you know, I didn't want to get a side blade out, but I had to get a side blade out. Yeah. You know? That kind of stuff.
I was kind of stumbling around with with the new.
Oh, you
fighting
only
style.
had one the dagger, right?
Yeah,
You didn't have the shield.
I didn't bring the shield with me because I was like, oh, I'll just try with the dagger. It's like, no, remember, Iman, when you just have a dagger instead of a staff, you need your shield.
Yeah.
So bring your shield with you.
Siobhan's been trying out a new fighting style for Iman because she's getting a little bored with the whole like stick support thing she's been doing.
Yeah, well, I guess it's like. Yeah, it's kind of bored with that, and also just, like, I always forget the stick everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm not supposed to, because it's supposed to be, like, bound to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, the leads to all sorts of complications.
Yeah. So she's been trying, this whole game she was doing sort of, like, dagger and, like, buckler. So she was like, parrying with the buckler and just, like, hitting him with the dagger, which was pretty cool. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah, you can do the maneuver where you swap them on that side and you never expect it.
Yeah.
Because it's so short.
But yeah, so we had to deal with these Shattered Sun guys. Excuse me. There was a couple of funny moments during that combat because it was the first time I had protections. So I'm not Erin doesn't have witchcraft anymore. She is a psionicist protections caster now. So she doesn't have witchcraft anymore. She is forsworn the powers of evil and taken on her own arcane skill. And so she's a protections caster instead, which means I have a lot of stuff that can negate enemy attacks, basically, and dispel magic and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I won't go through the whole combat because it's hard to like narrate combat in this game. But there was one moment where there's this guy in the back who's throwing spells, and all he had was packets. So he had no weapon. He didn't have like a dagger or like a club or anything. He just had magic, right? Just magic. So, excuse me. So, I see him like throwing spells at my friends, and I walk up to him. I make sure he sees me do it, and as I'm walking up to him, I just cast Reflect on myself. I invoke protections to grant Reflect, which is like, if you hit me with a spell, it will bounce back and hit you, basically. And I knew he only had spells because he's got nothing else in his hands, right? He's just channeling magic. So I make sure he sees me do that, and I start walking towards him, and he, like, backs up like he doesn't know what to do, and he's just, like, backing up, and I'm just walking towards him, and he's, like, backing up faster, and then, like, turns and runs away. It was so funny. It was like, that is why you have a weapon. You know, like, don't just use just spells. It never works. Because as soon as somebody gets on top of you, you're just gonna, like, you're just gonna die.
Well, it's also, like, depending on the sphere you're throwing, like, it's kind of hard to get out of that. Like, some spheres have answers for if you reflect something.
Oh, sure. Like, I'd throw an ego whip or something and just take 2 damage.
Yeah.
But, like, if he's throwing nature, there's not a lot of good options, right? I guess repel, yeah. But basically, he panicked.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't know what to do about it and ran away.
No, it's one of those things where as a caster, you have to, like, be aware of what your response
you have to know,
is.
And for an NPC, it's quite difficult because you're not always knowing the sphere that you're throwing as well as you might if you were a player.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a lot of great protections stuff happen this game.
But
like,
you definitely outmaged.
I outmaged him. Yeah. What was really funny is I didn't have a weapon in my hand either. I hadn't summoned a Psionic Blade yet. Because I can't cast while I have it in my hand.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, it's the whole, like, balancing act of, like, when do I pull it out? What's the good moment? Because as soon as I do, I can't say my cast. I have to spell strike them. So that's, it's a whole deal. It's a whole thing. But yeah, so that's... It was good, right? Like, it made me feel like the protections were worthwhile. And there were a bunch of times where my friends would get hit by something, or I'd hear them call off their defense, and I'd just reach over and put another defense on them, like, that kind of stuff, which feels, like, really impactful. Because Underworld is a game of defense. Like, if you can stop them from killing you, you have more chance to kill them, you know? And it's like, a big part of the game space. I'm just going to take a moment here to be like, hello, friends in chat. this is the talk show portion of the story thing, and I want to say hi, but we're gonna tell all the stories, and then after that we'll do the whole like, how's it going, friends? Just for those of you who don't know the procedure for this whole deal, and I don't want to look like I'm an asshole. Cool. So we did that, and we got the prisoner out. And then they tried to start eating one of the corpses.
Oh, yeah, so
right?
So I specifically like went up to one of the shapers on the mod, and I was like, cool. So I'm making sure that nobody is like taking any of these like corpses. We're making sure of that.
Yeah, we like interrupted them when they tried to
to
start eating the corpses and like push them away.
Yeah. And it's like, no.
It's like, it's time to go.
Like, Shaper, just want to specifically say to you that we're making sure about this.
It was like, we do not want to help anyone follow further the path of Zacera, so we are making sure that you know that they didn't eat any of these bodies. They didn't do anything with them. We've interrupted them.
Yeah.
You know?
And then we make our way out, and we see them, like, in the middle of the road.
Because the Archer's rogue had, like, run away from me earlier, and he had gotten caught out in the middle of the road. And they're you go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so they're, like, standing surrounding this corpse, like, nomming away, where it's, like, Tog, his friend who brought him here, and then the person we broke out. And it's like,
so they're like, completely chowing down on a corpse out here, and we're like, fuck!
And Archer's just hamming it up on the ground, being like, yeah, you see a pile of this, and getting all, like, gross, descriptively gross.
Yeah.
And then, like, one of them goes on and, like, starts to, like, pull off the last limb, and Iman just walks up, interrupt. And she looks at me, it's like, are you kidding?
It's like, just because you've done it already doesn't mean we're going to let you do it here.
Yeah.
And we're like, put it down. And, you know, we start having this kind of, like, heated discussion about, like, what they should do. And Tog is like, you know, like, everybody calm down, because he knows that we don't like it, and he knows that if the fight starts, it might be bad.
Yeah, because, like, the kind of group that we're with starts spreading around.
Yeah, there's a whole, like, this argument is happening, and you can see people positioning themselves for if it turns into a violent argument.
Yeah.
So Togs talks down his Dragon Knight.
Yeah.
Like, she's definitely a Dragon Knight, because it's our cast Dragon Fear.
Oh, yeah. We saw that.
Yeah.
In the mod.
But, calms her down, and she doesn't take the leg. But then the prisoner that we rescued is, like, munching on some, like, limb that she already has.
Yeah.
And I go, put that down. And she goes, like, why? And I go, because I just rescued you, and you know, like, you'd still be in a prison if it wasn't for me. Basically.
Yeah.
And then she just goes, and just, like, takes another bite. And I go, okay. And then I have my side blade in my hand already, and I just go, sleep, sleep, sleep. And I just put all three of them to sleep in a second, right?
Yeah.
And other people jumped in and cast other spells, and like it was like a whole thing. As soon as I jumped to action, like a bunch of other people jumped to action.
Like one person just before Iman even reacted, and she knew that this was happening. Someone else, I'm gonna leave them nameless because this is kind of a PvP thing.
Yeah.
Someone else like jumped in and like boom, and I was like, holy goodness, that was fast.
A lot of people participated in, like, as soon as I did a thing, everybody did a thing, which is great. I really appreciate it. And, like, some of them were like, I got slept twice and bound, and, like, you know, like, NPC is, like, down in a second. But so then I'm like, okay, well, what am I doing now, right? Like, I've put all these guys to sleep. Do I really want to PvP my friend Corey here, who has just, like, been trying to talk these guys down? But, like, the Aaron brain was like, this was the one who insulted me. Yeah. This is the one who pissed me off. Right?
The one that we rescued.
And I think before I put them down, there was a whole, like, do you want to make this a fight? And she was like, what fight? And then I went, okay. And then I just put them all down. But then my next thing was, like, take away all their toys. You know, like take away all the food, the pieces of body, whatever. We'll get it like properly buried or whatever. Yeah. Just take everything away that they could eat from their victims, right? Mm. And as soon as we had everything away from them, I woke them all up with some damage, basically, and they all got back up. And the NPC was yelling at me like, "You want to fight, bitch? Like, how dare you?" And I turn to her and I go, "Didn't we just fight? Do you really want to fight again? Because it'll end differently this time. I'm not merciful the second time around." You know, like, yeah. And she's like getting talked down by Tog. Apparently, is what happened.
Oh yeah.
Because I was talking to Corey after, and he was like, "Yeah, I was like, don't fight her. She has spells. You don't have spells. Like, we'll get her later." Basically. Yeah. And so we kind of walked away, and they walked away in a different direction, and everything was fine. But it was like this moment of really imposing my will on the situation. Like, I haven't done that in a while, where it's just like, "Oh, you disagree with me? You're all asleep now." Like, kind of thing. Which is pretty great. It's pretty fun to do.
It's also like one of those things that feels really good to do. Like, I really enjoy PvP around things that are RP related.
Like RP or belief related.
Yeah. Just be like, we're not like arguing over.
We're not arguing over loot.
Yeah. Which, we're not arguing over like someone who's murdering someone else. We're doing the little microaggressions that happen when like people are in
I
conflict.
also particularly enjoyed this conflict because I didn't have to kill any of them.
Oh yeah.
Right? The 2 NPCs I don't really care about killing, but I would feel really bad if I had to like kill Tog.
Yeah.
You know? I got to just sort of be like, I am stronger than you in this situation.
Yeah.
You should not fight me. Agree with me and move on.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah, it's like, we did the thing, we rescued your person,
and I am not
you're asking too much now.
And I am not saying that I'm stronger than Tog in general. He throws alchemy like a motherfucker, and also has a choke like garrote wire, so I'm washing my back like all time now, but still. So that's a whole thing. Mm-hmm. We did that, and then we headed back to town. I don't remember what happened next. Do you remember what the next thing was? The next, like, mob? Was it the Undead?
Yeah, it was the Undead, but we got back to town and we kind of, like, said hi to the people that were there. Like, Archian was around.
We kind of got the group together properly after that,
like, a few people are still out because they were either shifting or haven't made it.
There was Rageland, like, Tammy was NPCing the first shift, and Ryan and, like, Helene and Aval were, like, asleep right away.
Because
they did all the marshalling, so then they had to get ready after, and then they went to bed.
I remember the next thing.
Okay.
The next thing, we were sitting around the fire, or not sitting around the fire, but sitting around camp. I think Sambel was there, maybe Victor. Mm-hmm. And Skull comes running up, maybe.
Yeah.
And says, like, there's a Galbrazu in town. Or someone comes running up and it's like, maybe it was, I can't remember. Someone runs up and says, there's a Galbrazu in town. And then just, like, that's a call to, like, so let's get up and go.
Galbrazu is a big-ass demon.
Like, a giant one.
And somebody said it was looking for a ringlet, I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think I got up to chase it. I waited in camp.
Yeah.
So what happened when you went to go?
Oh, yeah. So, like, I'm running up and we're all, like, kind of, like, getting together and we kind of, like, are looking around. We hear it around the corner. We, like, settle behind a cabin. Wait. Ilias is there, too. Ilias hates demons. And he's lurking in the bushes, like, far away. And then I kind of, like, look around. It's like, hey, Sambo, is that the one? That's the one. Okay. And I summon my shield this time.
I have my shield this time, she says.
Yeah. Charging in and, like, start whacking her. And she just goes, eep, and runs away. Like, this is, like, someone who could put me in the dirt, like, 6 times over.
So a Galbrazu is a very big demon in Underworld. Like, a Galbrazu is stronger than a Balrog, basically. And, like, Balrogs are sort of, like, the highest statted demon.
Yeah.
In the monster manual, next to Galbrazu, it says, !, shape or discretion.
Yeah.
Like, they are as strong as you want them to be, because they are big demons. So, the fact that it ran away when Iman started hitting it with a dagger...
Alone. Well, I mean, I was hitting it for lots...
Like 11 or some shit, yeah.
Like...
Because you hate demons and angels.
I do. I do.
The Wild Elf racial bonus. Hatred for a specific subtype.
So she eeps and runs away. So, like, Sambo, like, tries to go after her, like, get an exorcism. Ilias realizes we're fighting and she's running, so he's, like, booking it after her. And then we just hear her infernal walk away.
Yeah, I heard the
and
infernal
she's
walk.
gone. Yeah.
Even from camp, she like yelled it quite loud.
Yeah.
And the sound bounces around those hills in such a weird way. But so we heard her infernal walk. I think Victor and I were at camp, like, talking about it. We're like, oh, she's gone. You know, like, I heard her walk away. But then we had the conversation with Ringlet about what it was about. And I reassured her, well, I tried to reassure her that, like, if it's demon related, I'll help you with it. And, like, you should come to me if there's any kind of problem. And she's like, I don't want to make a deal with it. I'm like, we don't have to make a deal. But what I'm saying is we can sometimes twist a deal into them going away forever.
Yeah.
Right? It's a thing where, like, you should talk to them and see what negotiation you can drum up if you're feeling confident. So what I'm saying is bring them to me, and I will do that for you. Because I am confident that I can do it. Right?
Yeah. Just lawyering around.
Yeah,
so yeah, I went to Ringlet and I was like, okay, so it's part of like her like
Ringlet
dead
is a dwarf,
father.
Dwarf blacksmith, by the way, who we've known quite a long time.
Yeah. It's the demon's approaching her because there's something going on with her father. She's trying to like drag his spirit back to the mortal realm and like bind it into a golem. And Ringlet doesn't want that. She wants her father to like have final rest and be at peace. So my mom like offered to like bring Sybil's like energy down to like try and like summon the spirit. So I cast my spell, but I never got anything back from it. So that's what it is.
Hey, sometimes you win, sometimes you get nothing.
Yeah.
Which sucks, but hey, that's life. But yeah, so there was the Galbrazu, and then the Undead, I think, was next, right? So a bunch of undead, like greater undead, come wandering into town, and they're like, the Jackal sent us to defend... Was it to defend you?
Yeah, from the Church of Light.
From the Church of Light, right? And so the Jackal are a tribe of wild elves that we've had trouble with recently, because people have been up in arms that we killed a bunch of, like, Jackal who weren't necromancers. But their whole tribe is necromancers. You know what I mean? Like... Maybe these things are not necromancers. Maybe these specific ones are not necromancers. But guess what? By being part of the Jackal tribe, they are advocating the use of necromancy. Therefore, you should be thanking us that we killed them. Basically. So we've had a little bit of drama over the Jackal tribe recently, which is annoying. So the Jackal tribe sent a bunch of undead to defend us. I'm like... Fucking necromancers for necromancy.
And like some people have like identified the undead. They're all really powerful,
really big,
really big undead, and they're all just like saying like, "Oh no, we're just going for a walk, for a stroll. Isn't this nice? Isn't this great? I love my unlife."
And there was a lot of people just like following them around, not doing anything about it, right? Like they're just like, "What do we do? They're not attacking us. Like, do we attack them? Like, what do we do?" And then we come in, right? Like Iman's already fighting there, and I heard the fighting, which is why I came. Because I was in camp, Victor and I heard the fighting, and we're like, what the fuck? And like we got up and went to go look. But so you were basically doing the whole like no excuses for the undead and like running in and like bathing them and then getting whapped and
like put in the dirt
and brought back up and then you go back in again. But like other people were all around like hesitating, like not doing anything.
To be fair, when I was angry, Ashrin came and looked at me. He's like, I would if I could, but
it's Ashin.
Ashin.
It's Ashin and Nazrin.
Ashin, Nazrin.
Yeah.
Sorry.
For the
Fire Elf friends. But he like looks at me and is like, I can't hurt them. I would if I could, but... So I'm like, all right. I understand. I'm not mad at you. Maybe I'll calm down, but I'm not stopping, so let's...
So Iman kept going in, and eventually I got there, and Victor got there, and some other people sort of from our church kind of came in.
Piercing them off.
And we started kind of separating them and beating them to death, and then separating them and beating them to death. And at one point, like, there's a couple of them left, and people were still hesitating. Yeah. So I just yelled at the top of my lungs, "No excuses for the undead! No excuses for necromancy!" And then suddenly everybody was fucking killing them. Which I'm like, you just need to yell loud, and it's fine. It's real great. It's all good, you know.
Yeah.
So that was fine. And we killed them all. And it was like, well, vindicated. You know, like the Jackal are terrible necromancers, and fuck them.
Yeah, trying to convince people necromancy's okay by, like, saying, like, oh, no, it's fine if they're defending us.
And I know what you're thinking. Doesn't the Gen Vespin then approve witchcraft? Because I did witchcraft stuff. I'm not a witch anymore. Erin is not a witch anymore. She got out of that deal. But, no, because I got exiled for it. Like, I was like hunted for it for a little while.
Yeah.
It's not an approval at all. I am a rogue agent, or was a rogue agent. So that whole thing, it's like a different situation. The Jackal are like, yeah, necromancy.
Yeah.
So it's a little different. And also witchcraft doesn't corrupt the land, and necromancy does. So
Apples and oranges.
Yeah, they're different. They're very different. Well, then we went to bed. I'm pretty sure what happened next was we were like, it's fucking cold, go to bed. Because I remember wanting to do that when we finished the prison. And then all this stuff was extra.
Yeah. It was so cold.
It was so freezing that I don't think I actually slept.
I don't think I slept
I lay down and closed my eyes and some time passed.
Yeah.
But I don't think I got any rest.
Yeah.
You know, it was so fucking cold. Which is unfortunate, but sometimes that's the way it be.
Yeah.
I remember being very tense and cold, basically.
Yeah. And I had to set an alarm because I was
You're up for NPC shift,
bright and early at 8:45 in the morning, which is early in LARP. That's like crack of dawn in LARP.
Yeah, Siobhan got up for her NPC shift in the morning on Saturday morning. Turned off her alarm and she went, and I was like, I'm not getting up, fuck that. Still sleeping. And then 20 minutes later I hear her come around as a stock exchange, the trade route. Yelling, exchange! Like she wants people to come out and trade stuff with her. And I was like, I could get up and trade some meaningless garbage for some meaningless garbage. Or I could be warm. So I was like, blanket over my head. Going to sleep. Just ignored it. And that happened a couple of times. A little mod would pass through and I would just be asleep. Just didn't want to get out of my covers because it was too fucking cold. Yeah, so I'm sure you got some trades. Stock exchange.
Yeah, there was some good stock exchange related RP going on.
Grand exchange.
Just yelling as loud as I can outside of people's tents in the morning.
Yeah, you're basically just trying to wake people up. It's a great wake up mod.
Yeah.
Stock exchange is not threatening. Yeah. But it does wake you up because it's loud.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's threatening if you try and trade yourself into it. But they eat people. Because it's you have to give something to get something. So if you give nothing, they're just oh, your hand? Okay. So yeah, that was the thing. I'm trying to remember my Saturday.
Yeah, you did some stuff before I came off.
Did I do anything? Oh, Church of Light. There's a little Church of Light in altercation before you came off your NPC shift where you were NPC on it. I remember because they slept you. And we just had a bit of a punching match there. With some Church of Light who were we're talking to you, and we're not stabbing you, and we're talking, and there's stabbing happening, and stuff is going on, and we're mad, and we're angry, and I'm like, why are we wasting our time? Paralysis sleep. Whatever, it's just stupid.
That was a fun little NPC moment, because I had a fist buffer shoved up my sleeve. So they took away my weapons and stuff.
And then you just...
And they woke me up, and I was like, boom, punch,
Yeah, I saw you punching Bruce.
Yeah.
Just punching the chainmail.
Yeah, just... Completely ineffectually, because, you're trying to punch through chainmail. Mm-hmm. It's not going to happen. But it's just one of those fun moments where people are like, oh, crap, right. We're... People aren't necessarily defenseless.
Yeah, it was the whole thing.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. That was that started a little problem because Argus was trying to like negotiate with them, and he was saying stuff like, "I'm not on their side or your side. I am neutral because I am a Vesmir worshiper, and you're the Church of Light." And you know, like doing that whole stuff. Aaron was not happy about that. That was like, oh, you've come back to the town and you've decided to be neutral. You don't have all the information. You're just choosing to devalue the lives of your friends. All right, cool. I'm glad we had this talk.
Yeah.
And I basically said to him after that whole exchange, like, we need to have a talk about this.
Yeah.
And then I went back to camp. And then you showed back up.
Yep.
What happened next?
I had to go to the car to get the face makeup.
Oh, yeah?
Wasn't
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was able to get my tea too. So it wasn't
okay.
Like
It was
like
like a secondary win.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. What happened? What happened on Saturday?
Oh, then you had the confrontation with Argus.
Was it that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I came back to that.
So Argus came to like have the talk I said we needed to have. And we were talking about his like neutrality basically in camp and like how he should reconsider. And Aaron takes it as a personal insult because it's basically like you're saying that because his excuse for not fighting the Church of Light is that he has to protect his people. Sorry, that was my computer, not yours. Don't get worried. That was a bleep from my end. What?
I can make it so your computer doesn't make bloops.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll figure that out later.
Okay.
But basically, he'd been saying like he's not fighting the Church of Light because he has to defend his flock. He has to defend his people, right? And my response to that is, do you think I'm not defending my people? Do you think my people are worth less than your people? Do you think that I'm worth less than you? You know?
Yeah.
Like, kind of was my take. And he's like, well, you know, it's not the same thing. I'm like, it's exactly the same thing, Argus. I put my people and myself on the line for you every day, basically. Like, we have been the front line of this fucking town for months. For months, we've been like the people at the forefront of every combat. And we have nothing personally to gain from it. If we'd sat back and let you all die several times, it wouldn't have mattered to us. Like, the consequence was irrelevant. But we fought anyway, you know, because we value our friends and our people that live here. And we care about our neighbors.
Like, we are allies here, are we not?
And like what you're saying is that that you devalue all of that to the point where we don't matter enough to put yourself at risk. You know, it's kind of what came of it.
Yeah.
And I got heated. It was a heated discussion. Like like we were having this talk, I stood up from my chair. I was like yelling in his face. And he stood up and we were like inches from each other, like screaming into each other's faces about how it was like a betrayal and like how, you know, he should consider that if his tenants, you know, the tenants of his god keep him from helping, then maybe he should fuck his god, you know, like shit like that, where it's like, if it makes you neutral, then it's not power, like kind of thing, like. You know, like, what can you do with it if it's nothing? And he's like, I'm helping in my own way. I'm helping when they're not looking. I'm like, you're helping when you can be a fucking coward. You know, like, all of this kind of stuff. I was like an inch from his face.
Yeah. And then it was just like, mid yelling at him, you're just like, get out of my camp.
I stepped back and I like pointed and I was like, get the fuck out of my camp. And he's like, you know, stomping away, and I'm like, if I see you in here again, I'll kill you. You know, it was like, because Erin's taking it real personal. She helped Argus get to where he is, you know? She put effort into stuff that didn't matter to her for his benefit, and he cannot see that he has to do the same for me, you know? And it's like, it's like he backed out on the deal. You know what I mean? And like Erin takes that very personally. So she got more heated than she usually would. But I expelled him from the camp. Yelled after him that I was gonna fucking murder him. And then he yelled back at us, if you touch any of my people, I'll kill yours, you know? And I was like, you can fucking try! Basically, like, it, like, got really heated. We were, like, yelling from the goddamn, side of, it was a thing. Which is really great, because, like, me and Wyatt are friends, and it's easy to have a yelling match with your friend, you know what I mean? After game, we, like, hugged it out, and we were like, that was awesome! Like, we had a real moment. It was great. What was really funny is I turned to the camp, and after that, I was like, give it 12 hours, he'll be back apologizing, Like, it was, like, the first thing I said after that, like, if he's brave enough to set foot near me for the next little while, I'll accept his apology. That was like my move there. Because apparently while he was walking away, Wyatt told me he was walking away, he's like, fucking Aaron, fuck, shit. And then his out of character brain is like, oh my god, what did I do? Like in the back of his head, he's freaking out. Because he knows, like, he's got nothing versus us. Like, if we came toe to toe with the group of Vesmerites, we'd crush them. So it was fun.
Well, I mean, the thing he is going for him is, like, we don't really want to kill him.
Yeah, like, I'll threaten him, but like, whatever, it's fine. I see through to my threats, but also I'm willing to compromise on things. But so yeah, that was like a thing. He was trying to be neutral with the Church of Light, and we were like, you're making a deal with a more unreliable entity than I have ever made a deal with, and I dealt with demons every day for years. Like, saying to the Citadel, I'm neutral, is the weakest position you can take. Like, you might as well say I'm on your side and, like, start doing that. Because that would at least put you in their good graces. But guess what? It puts you in no one's to be neutral.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was a really fun, like, RP moment between characters. And apparently the camp thought it was pretty good, too. I heard some reviews of it, like, holy shit, that was, like, really intense when you started, like, yelling.
Well, I heard that, like, there's some, like, follow-through on that later with Ragerlin. Yeah. Ragerlin was like, all right, this is what we're doing, great.
Yeah, Ragerlin and was it Enhelene or Skull?
I think it was Enhelene.
Yeah, Ragerlin and Enhelene, like...
The two, like, most aggressive, stabbiest Vespin.
That were there, because Colrin.
Oh, yeah.
But, the two most aggressive, stabbiest Vespin, like, threatened him again, basically. While Skull was trying to do, like, some new like, talking and stuff with some people. We're like, oh, yeah, also, we hate Argus now.
I think it was, like, at the tavern, like, when everyone was getting food. Yeah. We were like, just so everyone knows.
But, yeah, so that was fun. After that, there was... Was it the Umber Corps?
No. Was it?
I think it was. I mean, we had a lot of downtime.
Yeah, I think it was, like, there was a lot of downtime, a lot of, like, cool RP moments.
I didn't nap a single time this game, which is, like, exceptional.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I didn't.
It was so cold, too.
I didn't go, like, I'm going to bed at any point. I sat around and, like, talked with people and did stuff. And I feel a little better because Aaron's working at full capacity now. Like, because I have the protections as well as the psionics. Before, it was like, I can only do half of the stuff that I want.
Yeah, and it's like...
And that doesn't feel great.
If it's undead, I can't do anything at all.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could smack them for lots, because, my
Psyblade I hit for 10s with Undead,
Which is pretty great.
I mean, and what I did versus Undead was I just used a bunch of shields and protections and just, like, melee'd them. If I'd summoned the shield during the Umbercore fight, it would have been way easier.
I think like carrying that shield around, like, for various things.
It's just a little big, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, if you're, like, walking off and you know that you're gonna go, Aaron's knowing that she's gonna go fight.
It's like when I bring the spear. Yeah. It's when I know I think I'm gonna use it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I think we had a bunch of downtime. I don't remember anything specifically being, other than the Argus stuff, I don't remember there specifically being anything. I remember telling a bunch of other people about the Argus stuff, and, like, how he was being unreasonable. Like, I talked to Bruce a little bit, that was like, you need to get your fucking guy in order.
Yeah.
You know, like, if you can convince him to come and see me, I'll accept his apology. All that kind of stuff. Like, I wanted to let somebody know that my threat wasn't entirely going to happen. And that like he could through a venue like come and apologize.
I think Skull was doing the same thing.
Yeah. So I talked to a couple of people about it, sort of thing. And so that was like a whole deal. And then there was the Umber Corps. I'm pretty sure it was the Umber Corps after that. We got told that there was that we needed to strengthen the world. Oh no, the Elves first. It was the Elves first.
Which Elves?
The tribunal of Elves.
Oh,
right. So before that, while we were sitting around our camp,
you're right.
Little Crow was telling us a bunch of stuff about how like the wild elves are gonna make the Gen Vespin, not kudzu, and they're gonna be scavengers, and for the whatever reason, and we were like, what the fuck is happening?
I wasn't even sure that the Gen Vespin were kudzu. I thought it was like undecided still.
I don't know, right? But so these three elves who are like representatives of their various tribes, right, come into our camp and they're like, we need to speak with the leader of this swarm. Yeah. I'm like, okay. Get myself up, like walk over to these elves. I'm like, what do you want? And he's like, your tribe has been accused of cavorting with witches, killing was it killing children or killing elves? Killing elf children. And stealing what is rightfully the Crow tribes or something like that. And we're like, okay, you want to elaborate on that? They're like, well, I don't need to elaborate on cavorting with witches. You know what that means. Killing elf children, I mean, that's the report we got. And stealing what is rightfully the Crow tribes, the piece of the Root of Koa that you gave to the that was given to the Gen Vespin tribe is rightfully not theirs, and that it should be removed from their possession. Blah blah blah, like all that other shit, right? And it was like the weakest argument I've ever seen in my whole life, because here's the deal: cavorting with witches, totally true. I'm a witch, and like I don't think the tribe has been cavorting with witches, but I'm one, or I was one. Yeah. So like. Yeah, you're right. Like, sure. But also, I'm not a witch anymore. And it was a great personal cost to me to reverse my mistake. Right? And, like, work on being better. Also, I never corrupted any of the land. Just gonna throw that out there. Second of all, killing elf children? You damn right we killed elf children. They're a jackal tribe. Necromancers? Also, scavengers, which means that under your law, I could eat them for breakfast and you don't fucking care. So it doesn't matter, right? Under wild elven law, the scavenger tribes are basically like, you can do whatever you want with them, right? Like and that's what they're saying they're going to declare the Gen Vespin as, right? For these crimes. So I'm like, I don't think you can punish me for killing jackal. I mean, you as a council of elves made them illegal like 1,000 years ago. Has that been overturned? Are they still not illegal? I've been killing them and doing you a favor. You know, like, cool. Yeah. Whatever. Punish me, bitch. And then the third one, the Root of Koa, which rightfully belongs to the kudzu or whatever of the whatever. We're like, well, when we went to go and rescue it from its definitely going to be destroyed, attacked by undead situation, and we asked the crow, the local crow, to help, they were busy with a ritual. So they like their ritual magic a little better than their ancient magical artifacts from their fucking deep lore history. And we saved it, and we lost people saving it. And when we touched it, it voluntarily reached out and wrapped around Amon's arm as if it wanted to come with her. And we gave it to the most powerful druid we possibly knew, and she has grown it, and we went to see it. She has grown it into a 30-foot tall, like, majestic center of a grove, you know, thing. It's like, like, okay, we stole it? Cool. Who did we steal it from? You guys didn't even know it existed. So I think we did you a favor. Just off the hop. So I'm really looking forward to because they were like, next month we will convene and like have a trial about this, and I'm like, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm gonna blow your shit out of the water. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. So that was fun. I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
And then apparently we needed another piece of Koa's root.
Yeah. So Nazarin, who's a little fire elf that Iman has been working closely with, they're like connected to the branch of the world tree and are like starting to talk more with the lore keepers, who are part of like the plane of nature kind of thing. And Iman's like, lore keepers, my delicious like heart fangirlness
For the lore keepers.
for the lore keepers and the Huntsmasters is just like, they're so cool. So they came there and we're like, all right, so we found a way that we can strengthen our branch of the world tree, and so that it can like grow on its own. So what we need to do is we found the lore keepers have found another root of kind thorn, which is the Koa's Grove, and it's in the Ember Core, and we need to go save it now. So it's like, all right, cool, let's go.
Because we need it to bolster our root of the world.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So, and it's like, all right, cool, let's go. We need everyone we can, because the last time this happened, like, people died.
Bespin died last time.
Yeah.
Because people didn't know how to defend an object.
People were too scared to run past a whole bunch of undead to the other side. Like, it was rough.
Yeah.
It was real rough.
It was. You can look up the LARP story for that one, but it was a rough day.
Yeah.
We lost Umaga and Skull.
Yeah. And no one else. Like, everyone else who was on, like, that, like, excursion was, like, cowering in the back kind of thing. So it was like,
But so we had to go get another root of the world tree. So, or no, root of the world tree. Root of,
kind thorn.
Root of Koa, yeah.
Yeah, root of Koa.
So we got teleported into the Umbra Core, which is like the channels underneath of Zenithstrand.
Yeah.
And we're in like a cave. And we're pushing forward a little bit into this cave. And the undead have like got us in a choke point, and we can't really get through, and we're like kind of hesitating, and people are like backing up and whatever. And the thing about choke points in Underworld, especially against players, is that NPCs are so often much more powerful that pushing through a choke point is really difficult, because you can only be like two at the front, toe to toe with the like two in the enemy front, and the enemies are stronger and they're gonna push you back,
and they're
pelting deadly magic over. So that's all happening, and I see that there's like a sort of penetratable tree line to my right, and I'm like, we're going the other way. Like, this is a choke point. I'm gonna start unchoking this choke point. And I just pushed through the brush, like, like through the twigs and leaves and trees, and like kind of like made my way around the choke point. And other people came with me. But that's when the fight really started. And we're looking for the root, right? Because like it's gonna be somewhere around here. And as soon as I got through the choke point, they started hucking spells at me like crazy. And I managed to do like, I basically matrix dodged like 3 of them. Like just doing the lean back,
step,
like the side step, or like the side spin, as you like move forward. But so that was all happening. And then like everybody started pouring in and the fighting started happening. It was like chaotic. And I ended up squaring off against this like death mage. Who's got some claws and lots of spells, and he's throwing like magic death, magic necrotic blast, like all these horrible spells and coming at me. But I have protections now, so I have shield magic, which is I felt like a god. It was awesome because he threw a death, and I'm like, shield magic, and he's like getting ready to throw another death, and I go, I invoke protection to grant shield magic, and then his death hits me. I go, shield magic, and I'm moving towards him, and as he's throwing spells, I'm invoking protections and eating the spell and invoking protections and eating the spell, and I'm like, I really hope I don't run out of protections before I get next to him, and I started tapping into like the advanced ones because I had nothing left as the fight went on. But like, so Iman and I sort of converged on this death mage, and I managed to get up in melee with him. I'm hitting him with the side blade. Hit him with the side blade. And then he like reaches out and grabs my shoulder and like deaths me basically, or it was necrotic blast, so I went into my bleed count. But so necrotic blasts me and I fall over, and Iman is there like cutting him, and she's in Avatar, and she's got her sword out and she's smacking him. Because the Avatar like state gives her a sword instead of a dagger. She's like smashing him into the dirt.
Then he leans over and like necrotic blasts me, and I like fall over, and then I was like, oh no, crap, this sucks. We're both back here. Everybody else is elsewhere. It's gonna be. Wait a second. Why am I still thinking Avatar?
Yeah, so Avatar gives her more health. So she had because she doesn't Avatar very often.
Yeah, this is the first time in like years.
So she had forgotten that Avatar gave her more health, so she went down to a spell that shouldn't have killed her.
Yeah.
So she just goes like, wait a second, and then gets back up and goes, Avatar! And then just like fucking destroys this guy. Gets me the healing I need. And I get back up, and she grabs the root, and then things are respawning, and like shit is getting real bad, and we're like, we gotta go! You know, like, running out of there.
We got what we came for. Let's get out of here.
I went down again because I tried to fight the death mage when he came back through, to give you time to get out. And then Ashen came and like grabbed me and like pulled me out. But so we survived it. But we got out of there, and I felt so good about my protections, honestly. And I'm like, if you're a psionics protections caster, why are you not doing this? There are a lot of you out there. I don't understand why you're not fucking immortal. Okay? Because like, I can do it. Like, I don't get it.
Well, it's the whole like being sure enough to cast your spells quickly.
It's
actually really hard.
It's real. It's a real trick for sure. And also, like, if you don't cast it quick enough, you're gonna get hit with the spell before you can.
And then you're wrecked.
And that's the shit.
Like it's not easy to do.
No, but what I'm saying is, it is so powerful that you should learn how to do it because it's like you never feel more like a god. You know, like. But so it was pretty good. It's definitely more effective than Witchcraft, and Witchcraft is the best sphere in the game, like, solo. Combat-wise, protections, psionics can't be beat. But anyway.
Well, I mean, unless you have alchemy.
Unless you have alchemy, yeah.
Or
sure. There are a couple of ways, but, like, it's good. And when I say can't be beat, I don't mean can't be beat. I mean, like...
Feels so good.
It will be very difficult if you're fighting me head-on to kill me.
Yeah.
Because I can reapply armor, I can do all kinds of stuff, right?
But I mean, it does have the downside of, like, there's only so much you can do before, like, someone with a sword and shield would be like, cool, you add magic? Smash.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, my Psy Blade helps with that, for sure. And the Psy Weapon is a huge augment to my power, because I can Spell Strike infinitely. And also, it's a spear, so spear and shield is just, like, stupid cheating. But anyway, enough of my rambling about my awesome power. We fucked them up.
Yeah.
And then we got out of there with the root, and we went to plant it.
Yeah. So like.
This is okay. Yeah. This is here's a really interesting point. This is another root of Koa.
Yeah, another kind thorn root.
Right.
Yeah.
And so Little Crow sees you have it, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh man, I'm gonna tell the elves about that, right? And like, they're gonna come and like whatever. And so she runs off to do that. And we continue with the thing that we're doing. Put it on the World Tree root and like help everything out, you know? And Little Crow comes back and she's like, what did she say to you?
Well, it's like, oh, well, if you want it identified, you could take it back to take it to the Crow camp.
By this time, it's already in the World Tree.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know that thing they accused us of stealing? Yeah, we got another one, and they didn't even come to look at it. Okay. Like, just making my case for me. So anyway, like that goes on, and yeah. We get the World Tree stuff going, and it's like...
that's really cool.
It's like a rite where we have to tell a story and give something over to the tree.
Help strengthen it.
I didn't actually give anything over or tell any stories because I had nothing I wanted to... What I was going to do is I was going to talk about my club and this piece of wood that I've had with me for like so long, and it's like been by my side for like since the game began, you know? Kind of thing, like, for me.
Yeah.
But I'd have to give it up.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to give it up, so I kept it. And I didn't tell any stories, but other people did, and it's fine. And we got it all done. It was a cool little write,
Yeah.
like an object that ties you to the land, tell a story about it, and then it bolsters the world tree root, helping everything
and like
flourish.
ties you to it.
Yeah, because you get invested, right?
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I told a little story about like I had a scroll for like a nature spell, and I was able to like kind of delve into like some of my mom backstory stuff about like how she learned nature and like her issues with her parents and that kind of stuff, which was fun to revisit because I don't often get to talk about like ancient character history.
Ancient Hamon history.
Yeah, and have it be like relevant or interesting.
Yeah.
And then Nazrin as like she was they were the person leading, and they like sat there and they were like, all right, the lore keeper said I have to listen to all of them, so they sat there and very patiently like listened and like participated in everyone's story, which was so cool.
It was good. It was nice.
Yeah, it made me feel really, really cool to see another player like get invested like
in like the nature and the lore of the nature and stuff like that. Yeah.
And it's something that like my character is like so involved with too. So it's so cool to like see other people who are like really into it.
Yeah, it is cool. I'm not as connected to that stuff as you are, so for you it's like more impactful. For me it's like cool world tree, whatever.
Well, also it's like hey, we're strong. We did it. We won. Yeah.
Yeah. But so that was that was the thing. What was the next thing after that? I think there was another Church of Light altercation.
I don't.
Because like the Argus apology, well, not apology,
yeah, there's
but
another one, but we were in camp.
So there was like a thing with the Church of Light, and there was some ruckus, and we got up to go check it out, and it was already over by the time we got there. So that happened, but I don't really know what happened.
Yeah.
Went back to camp, and Bruce and Argus and a bunch of other people came down the road, and Bruce comes into camp, and he's like, "Is it all right if Argus like comes and talks to you?" And I'm trying to like do the diplomatic thing because I yelled at, I yelled at Argus earlier, and I'm like, "Yeah, bring him in." And he like whistles and brings Argus over, and Argus marches over with a bunch of other people, and they're standing there, and Argus sits down, and he's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna, and then he starts talking about stuff I don't give a shit about.
Yeah, like...
For, like, a good 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, let's get to the point, Argus. Are you fighting the Church of Light? And he's like, yes. I'm like, okay, good.
Yeah.
And then he keeps, like, making excuses.
Yeah.
It's like this whole thing where it was like, it's basically like a giant pile of why I didn't fight the Church of Light instead of why I was wrong and should be fighting the Church of Light. You know what I mean? It's like this big old storybook of excuses coming out, and I'm just sitting there letting him like stress ramble.
Yeah. And I'm just like sitting in my hammock, which, by the way, hammocks instead of camp chairs, superior. Camp chairs, hammocks.
Yeah.
Walmart camp chairs.
Yeah.
Hammocks.
But anyway, so like I'm sitting there just letting him stress ramble for a little bit, and then I just go, I'm hearing a lot of excuses, Argus, but I'm not hearing an apology. He's like, well, I did apologize. I'm like, no, you didn't. You sat back and acted like our personal friendship was not affected by your neutrality. Right? And he's like, yeah, and I won't apologize for sticking by my morals or what. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I was like, all right then, get out. We're not good. Leave. Basically. It wasn't as aggressive, and like Erin was like, okay, at least he's fighting at this point. But she's still just like her personal pride, her personal like feeling on it was like, you don't care about me. Personally.
Yeah.
And so I don't care about you personally anymore.
Yeah.
Like, friendship discarded, basically. Like, and like, I'm not gonna kill you now, but still no good. Please leave. And by please leave, I mean get out.
Yeah.
And then their whole little party, like, scurried away.
Yeah. I think, like, Argus goes away, and then, like, someone goes to continue the conversation. You're like, no, you two. Just, this conversation's over. All of you
this
get
is
out.
done. You don't negotiate for him. He negotiates for himself. Go away.
And then I think we had a good old chuckle.
We did. I think we did have a good old chuckle.
Yeah.
I don't remember what we chuckled about specifically.
I think specifically, like, Iman was, like, a little feeling a little sassy because, like, so Iman is also a reaver of a god, so she's connected with tenants.
Like a favored.
Favored, yeah. And her god doesn't speak. She says
Sybil,
no words.
Sybil is mute. The goddess of the hunt doesn't talk.
Yeah. So if she does communicate, it's in, like, imagery or
symbolism. It's in metaphor.
Metaphor, and it's all, like, vague. So, the idea of Iman, like, going to, like, consult her god before making an important decision or a moral decision is just... It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, like, track with Iman.
It doesn't track with, like, Iman and, like, how kind of, like, that stuff tends to work. For her, at least, because, like, why? Why would you do that? I'm supposed to, like, if I make mistakes, then it's my fault and I should pay for them. Yeah. And so Iman was just like, having your god hold your hand. Goodness gracious.
Well,
goodness gracious.
Because Argus talks to Vesemir, like, all the time.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing, right? Like, I want to stress that I'm not trying to shit on Argus.
Yeah, like, out of game, not a bad game. Not a bad thing.
But,
in-game,
like, for Iman, it's like, what the fuck? You know, like, I don't talk to my god ever.
Yeah, it's like, when she talks to me, it's because I need to do something.
Yeah. Like Argus consults Vesemir for, like, Vesemir, should I have ham or salami? like kind of like levels of consult with your god. But yeah, we were just being rude at that point.
Oh yeah.
But I think that was when the sun was coming down, and we just kind of stayed in camp. Because I had a demon deal still on the table, friends, from a million years ago. Because for the last Mordekaiser game, I wasn't there. I was at TwitchCon last year when the Mordekaiser happened.
Oh, no, you weren't. You were
somewhere
at,
else.
The smaller one.
Go Play.
Go Play, yeah.
I was at Go Play, like when the last Mordekaiser game happened. So, I had made a deal the previous month that if the Mordekaiser shows up, I would get a warning before,
like, way back last summer.
Before he showed up. I made this deal like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That I would get a warning before the Mordekaiser showed up, and so that hadn't happened yet. So we went to Plot and, like, reminded them, like, hey, I have a demon deal that's still on the table.
Yeah.
I get a warning before the Mordekaiser shows up. And they were like, yeah, I remember you making that deal, like, a long time ago. Cool. Yeah, done.
Yeah.
And, you know, we left and stuff. We also informed the Gen Vespin about, like, the accusations levied against us.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, we can't talk right now, but...
Yeah. Noted.
So anyway, we're sitting around camp, and I'm like, it's gonna happen soon.
Yeah.
You know, like, we gotta wait and, like, not get involved in anything too much. Because if I get the warning, we need to be together, and we need to leave.
Yeah. So we're all just, like, kind of sitting, we're going over, like, we make sure we pack our, like, pack water, pack some snacks in our bags, like, make sure we all have extra blankets, consult with our, like, non-elf friends to figure out what their plan is. Like, Iman, like, gathers up everybody and, like, activates her monolith to be like, alright, worst case scenario, there's this, that should buy you some time if, like, you get isolated and you need somewhere to hide, right here.
Yeah, we were like...
Our newer jaunty friend in on it.
We were like trying to figure it out, right?
And at this point, carrot burritos.
Yeah, it was at this point. So, I want to talk about the Archie and stuff because I did miss it.
Okay, yeah.
So earlier on in the day, Archie had approached me, one of our Gen Vespin friends. Where?
I need.
Okay,
because this is one of your stories, and I need to. Bio break. So.
So Archie had approached me, one of our Gen Vespin, and said, like, Aaron, I need to talk to you about some serious stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, what is it? He says, well, the new Gen Vespin here, they they do the shaman markings differently, right? They do the stripes across the nose and the stripes across the mouth, then the breath and the voice. But they do them separately. They don't give them at the same time. Like, their tradition is that you're an apprentice when you have stripes across the nose, and you're a shaman when you get your stripes across the mouth, right? And we're like talking about it, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, what does this have to do with you? And Archean's already got the shaman markings. You know, Archean is a caster from the old Gen Vestman in Logarin. You know, the old Gen Vestman back when we were playing in Calidor. The rule was shamans were just shamans. And Archean says, like, I don't know if I'm worthy of the voice yet. The voice being the 3 stripes across your mouth. I don't know if I'm worthy of it. I don't know that I have taken the responsibility for it. And so I'm wondering if I could follow their tradition and like, strip away those markings and, like, re-earn them. And I said to Archean, I'm like, you've earned them. You just haven't, like, realized it yet, sort of thing. You've earned them by our way, our old way of earning them, and you will be erasing your history. You'll be erasing the history of the person who marked you if you remove them now. But I will give you a day, a whole day. Come back to me, speak to me again, and if you still feel this way, then we'll do what must be done. We'll strip the markings, and you can earn them the way that the Gen Vestmen here do. You know, so just take a day to think about it and come back to me. You know, so I let him take that day. You know, because that's a big decision. You know, you're going back on a tradition that you've already participated in to participate in a new one that is not your tradition, quote unquote. So I wanted to make sure that it was like we really considered it, because like lore wise it's super important, so to speak. So we had that discussion, and it like kind of was good. The resolution of that discussion at the very sort of like near the end of the game was that Archean said that they in fact wanted to keep their markings, and that they would earn them, like, themselves. You know, like, the way they can earn them. And, like, live up to the markings they already had, rather than strip them away. So it was cool. I'm glad that, like, giving the time, like, changed the situation, and, like, we had that cool role play. It was really, really good.
It's one of those things where, like, making those big decisions and having the chance to think about it in character brings so much more to the experience.
Okay, back on timeline. Carrot Burrito. So our Ajanti friend was a little eccentric. He was eating a raw carrot, wrapped in flatbread.
Yes.
Carrot burrito.
Like it was a normal...
Like it was totally a normal thing to do.
Yeah.
And so we were making jokes about carrot burrito and like other stupid burritos for like the next hour around the camp. Just, you're eating a raw carrot wrapped in flatbread.
What?
And then he's like, you don't understand. So many good burritos. You could have apple burrito. You cut apples and you put in flatbread and then eat apple burrito. You know, like, you could have so many different burritos. It's good.
And he was like, okay, well, you pull the carrot out of the ground, and then you pray to your ancestors, and they give you ancestral flatbread. Ancestral flatbread.
Yeah. It's so easy. You pull the carrot out of the ground, you pray to the ancestors, and the ancestors give you ancestral flatbread. Then you put carrot, and you wrap, and carrot burrito. So we were just talking about how, like, you could pray to the ancestors for flatbread for, like... I don't, like... It was just, like... It was really great, because it was this moment of levity in this, like, super paranoid, like harshness that was, like, this ghost of death is coming to kill us, you know?
Yeah.
So it was... shout-outs to Hakan.
Yep.
It was stupid.
It was great. It was so great.
Yeah. Just when I think the Aja are done surprising me, bam, carrot burrito. Yeah. But so then it was Mordecai's time.
Yeah.
So we got the message as the sun was like low and like it was dark.
Yeah.
An NPC came and whispered in my ear and said, "You hear an impy voice say, 'The Mordgeist is coming.'" And as soon as that happens, I jump out of my chair and I'm like, "It's time to go." And we get up and we get ready to go. And then there's this NPC like walking down the road.
Yeah.
And we're like, "Well, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
We're all really tense. And he's like, "Hello? Is anybody there?"
Yeah.
And we're like, "What is it?" And he says like, "You see a Gen Vespin child?" And we're like, like
small elven child must protect.
Yeah, the Gen Vespin child is like, the I got cursed and they said the Mordgeist is gonna find me and he's gonna kill me, and we're like, "No, you're coming with us." And we just like scooped him up and
on our way out of town.
And went out of town. Ray and Helene were somewhere else. Well, Helene was trying to meet up with Aval, and Ray wouldn't leave Helene by himself.
So as we're leaving, so you're kind of like leading the pack, and Helene's like turning back, being like, "I need to go find Aval." And then Ray's like, "I'm coming with you." And there's a little argument there where Helene's like, "No, I could go. Like, I have this ability to go undetected." And Ray's like, And they're like, they're talking, and I just go up to them and it's like, "And Helene, Ray is not going to not go with you," basically. It's like, that's happening, deal with it, we're leaving.
Yeah, so they went to go and like find Aval and like figure some shit out.
Yeah.
And we went to hide.
Yeah.
And we trudged all the way up the hill, up the back trail, around the hill, all the way down to some like little wooded area where it was fucking freezing and miles away from our camp. And we parked our asses there for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
At some point, Ray came looking for us because she like separated from Helene because they were in like Delon's camp or whatever, and she's like, "It didn't feel right for me to be there, so I came to find you."
Yeah, she wanted to like be with her swarm.
So she came to find us and hid with us. She knew where we would be.
Yeah. Well, and also we left like a track a mile wide.
Yeah. But so we just like sat up there for an hour and a half. It was fucking freezing. I cannot express to you how uncomfortable it was. Like, you're in full paranoia alert mode. You're like a bunny, like searching the fucking horizon for predators.
You're trying not to breathe too loud.
You're staying dead quiet. You're like trying very hard not to make noise, but I was coughing and I was like feeling really bad about it because the cold air. It was fucking freezing, and we had nothing to do but wait and sit and listen in the distance over the hills for the evil cackling laughter of the shattered elves. And once that was over, maybe it was safe. It was like our cue.
Someone had a horn that they were blowing that apparently they would blow whenever they like
saw the Mordgeist.
And every once in a while we'd hear the horn blow, and it's like, all right, gotta reset it.
Gotta wait another hour. Because it's like, the Mordgeist only stays out for an hour, but if people get caught by the Shattered Elves, there's a ritual that will extend it by an hour. So it's this whole thing where it's like, you don't know how long the Mordgeist is going to be out if people are bad at getting caught, right? But we managed to sit there for an hour and a half. I think it was about an hour and a half. Freezing our fucking asses off. It was cold as fuck. Like, I don't know how to... I was in like a full wool cloak, like good underlayers, like I had a hat. I had another blanket also that I like put on the ground and like wrapped around me a little bit, and I was still just like shivering and freezing. And it sucked. It sucked a lot. If there's any part of the game I wish had not happened, it is that part, because I was sure I was gonna be sick. Like, I was sure I was going to be sick from doing that.
Like, my saving grace was that I brought my little shield with me, and I had it, like, pushed up right here. And shields are greatly insulating because they're made out of insulation foam.
Yeah.
So, I just, like, put that on my stomach. It's like, wow, my core is so warm right now. Thank you, shield. Thank you, imaginary shield.
But so, yeah, we did it, and it's fine, and like I'm fine, and whatever. But it was not an experience I want to replicate.
And Hakan, like he was sick that night, and then like had to
go
early.
home in the morning.
So
it was fucking
ugh.
We found out that the Mordecai spent most of his time trying to break into Thalon's henge and kill a bunch of elves.
Yeah.
We could have probably stayed in our camp and we would have been safe.
Yeah.
But best not to provoke that kind of attention.
Yeah. I had a great, I think this was out of game conversation with Ryan and Helene's player. Where he was like, yeah, so it was knowing that, the swarm was safe,
made it easier.
It easier so that he could, and Helene could go and do things.
Out of game, we knew our location was going to be pretty safe, because it was far away, and, the Mordecai's had other victims, and the Shattered Elves had other victims that were more obvious. And, going out of your way in your hour to come and get us would take you 20 minutes of that hour.
I mean, what was the likely thing to happen is, send Shattered out to go, scurry areas. So if we saw Shattered and Shattered found us and ran back to report, that was the danger.
That was the danger.
So it's if you see a Shattered, we
have to kill it.
We have to. There's no other way.
So that was kind of the situation. Which is fine. And, again, I want to stress that, this is a part of the game, and, that's fine. I don't like the Mordegeist. I think the Mordegeist is a shitty mechanic that needs to go away, and, maybe Mama Leandra could, get her fucking kid in order. But, it's a part of the game. Run and hide. Be scared. Be cold. Yeah. Be not quite prepared. And, that runs your adrenaline high, and that's, part of the fun.
Yeah.
Right? It's not the fun part of the fun, but it is part of the fun, if you know what I mean. I wouldn't want to replicate it. And it would have been super much easier if it wasn't freezing as fuck.
Yeah, because if it was raining...
But thank my lucky stars it wasn't raining. Yeah, because we'd be, I would have pneumonia.
Yeah, no, I don't know what we would have done at that point. We would just head in our tent and be like...
I would have been I take the death.
Yeah.
If you find me, I take the death. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll just lie here in my bed, please. But yeah, so not great.
Yeah. -3 with rain is the most dangerous time, because snow doesn't get through you.
Yeah, snow is fine.
Snow is fine. You can just brush it off. You can go be -20 with snow and fine. But,
yeah, it's -3 with rain.
Is the most dangerous
real issue.
thing.
Yeah. Okay, so we did the Mordecai stuff. Then after that was the vampire stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we came back to we did the fire.
Yeah, the fire.
We came back to camp and we're fucking freezing. Let's have a little communal celebrate that we didn't die. And we made a fire in our little fire pit.
Had some marshmallows.
And had roasted some marshmallows and some sausages.
And some ham sticks.
I ate too many sausages. But that's okay, because I really wanted them, and I've been really wanting them the whole game.
Yeah, you're looking forward to them.
Amon was like, we're doing the fire after the Mordegeist, and I'm like, that could be any time! I want to eat them now!
Well, that was Violet.
Yeah.
Aaron was like...
Aaron was like, fine. But anyway, so we lit up a fire and we're relaxing around it. And then we got somebody coming in being like, vampires! Right?
Yeah,
you want to tell this story? Because I'm not part of it, right? Really.
So Ashton comes up and he's like, he and Amon had a conversation the previous month about trying to invoke the lore keepers to help us deal with a vampire that's been going on. So the backstory for this is that Feverfew, the leader of the Jackal tribe, who from previously in the story were sketchy necromancers, are coming in to try and save the daughter of Koa, who is an ancient historical elf figure who Feverfew has turned into a vampire by mistake. Okay,
so the daughter of Koa is think about Dracula, right? We're talking first of the first of the first of the first of. There are no vampires before you. You are the be all end all vampire. There are none in your family line before you. You are the top dog vampire. This is some Cain and Abel shit.
Yeah. And Amon previously had a yelling match with Feverfew about Feverfew's dedication to save this person at all costs and make sure that they're eternal and they live forever, and is incapable of realizing that
they should die.
you failed, you corrupted her. It's over now.
Now you have to pay the price.
Yeah. And, well, that was the argument previous month. So Ashen had been trying to find another solution instead of Feverfuse wanting to go back and play with time. So he never made a mistake at all, and everybody's saved, and he never did anything wrong, and we're all happy.
Can't just erase your mistakes.
And totally won't backfire at all, and trust me, I've got it, I'm a changed man.
Changing the time stream is a great plan. Necromancer bait.
Yeah. So Ashen had been talking about, like, maybe, like, talking with the lore keepers, because she's a druid, and she's a very powerful druid, and if she's a vampire as well, she is, like, causing problems. She's corrupting the land. Like, she is a corruptive force. And he was like, so, because, like, she used to be guarding, like, her henge is a leftover henge of Koa, so it's like, the fear was if you kill her, her henge would die, and all
nature would die with it. Yeah.
But the catch is, because we got that piece of we went to the Umber Core to get that root and put it into our branch of the world tree.
Now that's sustaining the nature.
Yes.
Yeah.
So open season on vampires. So he was like, hey, so they're gonna do some stuff where they're gonna try and get her and, like, do a thing. So we, the lore keepers, have said that they can bring some of us into her henge. We're going to guess that her coffin's there, and we're going to hope that her coffin's there, because where else would be safer?
The other thing is the henge is a super weak point, because if you destroy the heart of a henge, the person dies. Yeah.
So, but you only have 3 seconds to do it in. So you have to be able to deal a huge...
100 damage
in 3 seconds.
3 seconds.
And that's a difficult thing.
Unless you're like a very high level warrior, it's super hard.
Yeah. So what we had Ashran, who was going to take us in and out. We had Samvel, who was going to use psionics to kill a vampire.
Twin multicast.
Yeah, like massively dump. And then I had my divine relic.
Yeah.
Which let me spell strike light bolts, which is a fair amount of damage.
20 damage.
With 20 damage, 3 strikes. And then Raedrillin was there as well. Also light bolts. So that was our kill squad.
Our kill squad of 4 people. Samvel, Ashen, Amon, and Ray.
Yeah. So get together, we were going. And Ashen had led other people to believe that he was going to take the coffin and...
To them,
so they could perform their terrible time ritual on it.
Because, like, there was this whole argument about what plan was going to happen. And it was, like, in our camp that the argument was happening.
Yeah, and then we
were basically like, your plan sucks, we're doing our plan. Yeah. And they're like, we'll do both plans. And we're like, cool, fuck off. Yeah. Go do your plan. I don't care. Yeah. And then, keep going.
Yeah, so then we get there, and we're like, and we have the 3 seconds, we dump the damage in, it goes kapoof, we're swarmed by Thorn, and we get out. Like, we get out. It's tough. It's rough. Like, it's, not everybody's conscious when we get out, but we get out. We're dropped in the middle of the town, and we have a freaking coffin with us.
Yeah, you're just holding the coffin of the first fucking vampire.
And we're like, in my head is like, okay, right now is yakety sax, like, what do we
do with it? Where do we go?
How do we destroy it? We haven't actually thought this far in the plan. We didn't think we'd actually get this far in the plan. We were prepared to die. Like, we thought we were just going to be, like, wrecked here.
Just so you guys know, my plan with Victor sitting at the fire. My plan, because I didn't want to go on this mission because I haven't got anything I can contribute to this, really. So I'm sitting with Victor at the fire this whole time while this is all going on. And my plan was, if they fail and everyone dies and the daughter of Koa comes wandering into my camp, I'm going to be like, sit down, have a hot dog, let's talk. Like, my plan was just to be like, I'm airing the shit out of this. If it all goes terrible, we're gonna try and talk to the super vampire. Yeah. That was my plan. Anyway, keep going. You've got the coffin.
Yeah, we've got the coffin. And then we're like, all right, destroy it. We've got to destroy it. Argus has a church that's gonna be sunlight. Because Argus hates undead. So we run over to his camp, and we look there, and it's like, the church is locked.
I can't get into the church.
He locked the church. We can't get in. And that was my second moment this game where I was like, Argus, what good are you?
Argus!
It's like, I can only rely on you to kill undead, but I can't rely on you to kill undead when you're not not here! Ah! So then we're like, all right, there's a fire back at camp. We've got to destroy it with fire. So we book it over there. And while this is happening, the mod where they're like trying to confront her and where they're expecting us is happening like on the other side. So we're like, okay, we've got to run. But, you know, we don't want their attention.
Yeah.
So we've got to run like... I mean, we were not stealthy.
So it was really funny. They come running up and they're like,
and
you can hear Amon's yelling like, "Get out of the way of the fire!" And we're like, "What?" And she's like, "Get out of the way of the fire!" And we're like, "Okay." We're like getting up and like moving away, and they come in, and Ashen has the coffin, and he just like slam dunks it into the fire, and it's just like. It just lights up, right? Yeah. And we get a shaper come over and tell us like there's ashes, like vampire ashes in the bottom.
Yeah,
like, she's dead.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I assume that's what it means.
But so that was like we were supposed to what the plan was, quote unquote, was we were gonna get the coffin and then give it over to the fucking necromancer to do his little ritual.
Yeah,
but we were like, why would we let him do a ritual we don't know what it'll do when we can slam dunk this super vampire into the fire?
Yeah, it's like easy solution, easy problems. Kill vampires.
Yeah. You know, like why let him do something that might fuck everything up when we know we can kill the first vampire? He was not happy about that, by the way. He came over and he's like, "What the fuck did you do?" We're like, "We killed the first vampire. You're welcome." And he's like, "That wasn't the plan." And he's like, "Now it's all messed up." I'm like,
he was like, I altered this time stream for nothing. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, you did. I warned you not to. You did. You didn't listen to me. Eat your consequences. Yeah.
Suck it, necromancer. It's basically our response. Like, this guy's the progenitor of all these necromancer jackals.
Yeah.
And we're like, we don't like you or your plan. Fuck you.
Yeah.
So we just slam dunked the coffin into the fire.
Yeah. And so as this is happening, we kind of like being like, all right, well, okay, so. I think Senville is like glowing in his like.
He's like, I fucking killed a vampire with psionics, which is like you just can't do it.
It's impossible. So he goes off to like expound his like accomplishments to everybody, and he comes back later, and they're like, they were less impressed than I thought they would.
Yeah, they were less happy with me than I thought they would be when I told them I killed the vampire.
Yeah. Which is so funny.
Sam Bell's just like, they were not impressed.
Like, they should be impressed. And we're like, yeah, they definitely should.
We're all at the campfire like, yeah, Sam Bell, they should be impressed. That was fucking cool. He's like, they weren't impressed. I don't know why. It was great. It was great. Yeah. It was like a great little moment. And then Ashen got kind of like fucked over by everybody blaming him for the situation.
Yeah, which was... he took it in stride.
Well, there was a lot more to that plan. Yeah, well, nobody informed us, so we slam dunked a vampire into a fire. Nobody told us the plan. We were just like, we have an opportunity to murk the shit out of this vampire. But anyway, so that happened. And then Ashen like got his tongue cut out or something, and people were mad, and I don't really know what happened, so I'm not gonna go into it. But like, whatever, it was worth it.
Yeah, like 10 out of 10 would do again.
10 out of 10 would kill the first vampire in my campfire.
Yeah, it felt really sweet because like we had actually had like face-to-face interaction with this vampire before.
Yep.
And like thought they were like had good intentions and like was like being an ally.
We didn't know they were a vampire for a long time.
Yeah. And like was like, oh, you all hate necromancy? Well then, I know how to play.
Yeah, kill the jackal. But also, rule number 1, kill the jackal. Like they manipulated us into doing it, but I don't feel bad for a second.
Oh yeah. There was.
There's this big problem going around where like there was a mod like maybe 2 or 3 games ago where we killed a bunch of jackal children. It was a poorly played mod in that like we didn't even know what we were killing before we killed them.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I'm just saying we because I represent the group.
Yeah.
You know, and like We only found out what we were actually doing after the fact, which sucks because you're like, if I knew they were children, I probably wouldn't have done that. But hey, there you go.
Well, we would have done it in a different way.
Yeah.
Like at the moment, like.
But
yeah.
But now we have to play it like we did that on purpose.
Yeah, and it still makes sense because we probably would have, because it's just like, you gotta change your markings. You can't be a jackal and survive. It doesn't matter how old you are. You're old enough to speak. Well, because the jackal, old enough to hold on to this decision.
And also because the jackal are new.
Yeah.
That like the coyote have to change their markings. There are no kids born jackal.
Yeah.
Like they know that they were another thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's this whole thing where it's like, if your parents are irresponsible enough to make you like do this and they're complicit in necromancy, you have to die as well. Sorry, kid. Yeah, sorry, kid. Like... Can't let the bloodline live. You're a jackal. You're a dead jackal. That's the way it goes. Spreading necromancy is not okay, and I will not accept it. Even if you're a tiny child, I will not risk the vengeance that tiny child who survives.
Yeah.
When I kill their parents, will come for me 10 years from now.
As like superpowered necromancer. And then just, like, we have a bigger problem.
Yeah, like, I fuck it. You should be thanking me. Jackal, get murdered. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
But so, yeah.
So change your markings. Don't be a jackal.
Be a coyote again. Then we're good. It's no problem there.
Yeah.
But so, like, that's how it is. Yeah, gotta kill the younglings. You know, like Anakin Skywalker style.
Yeah, like, it's, like, out of game, I am totally aware that is not good, and it's, like, messed up as crap. But in game... I'm not playing a good person.
No, like we're like our characters are not good people.
Yeah. I mean, they have like a greater picture, but they value something, like Iman values something that is not like mortal life. Yeah. She values something that is beyond mortal life.
Well, it's about the spread of necromancy. Like even if you aren't a necromancer, you are implicitly agreeing that necromancy is good by being a jackal.
Yeah. It's like Iman has like a war against necromancy. That is her path.
But anyway, so that's kind of a situation that's been haunting us for a couple of games, but I've just decided I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
And that they're a scavenger tribe anyway, so like fucking eat it, bitches. Punish me, Kudzu. Ugh, punish me. Yeah. So we slam dunked Vampire Queen into a campfire.
It was pretty great.
People were mad, and I don't really care.
Yeah.
And then we went to bed.
And we roasted marshmallows.
Yeah. I ate probably a few too many marshmallows. They're very sweet, and you like don't realize how much of a thing they are while you're eating them. So I ate too many sausages and too many marshmallows, and I went to bed. It's a good night.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
We heard, we didn't hear it in camp.
There were some vampire reprisals, but I was asleep, so I didn't even notice. People died from vampires or fought vampires or whatever, but I was busy being asleep.
Yeah. I mean, I would have rushed out of bed to, like, help murk more vampires, but I didn't hear anything, so that was kind of... I was sad by that, because I would have loved to get up.
So, chat is asking me something that is, you used to play a witch, how are you against necromancy? Witches and necromancy, witchcraft and necromancy are apples and oranges. Necromancy is an inherently corruptive magic that twists natural things into unnatural things, right? Witchcraft is a magic set, like from demons. Like, it's separate from the mortal plane. It's like light or dark, right? Where you're, like, pulling from somewhere else. There are a few spells in witchcraft that corrupt the land, but I never cast any of them, right?
Yeah.
So it was like, they're apples and oranges. They're different.
So, like, kind of the way I see them different is necromancy corrupts the land, witchcraft corrupts people. Like, it corrupts the soul.
It's true.
Versus, like, the natural ecosystem.
Versus nature, yeah. So, yeah. Marshmallows with that delicious vampire ash flavor. Then sleep. Then Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Then Church of Light.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think there was another mod before Church of Light, right?
No, I don't think there was.
So the final mod on Sunday was the Church of Light coming to destroy, or not destroy, but like claim the relic, the obelisk or whatever. And we were turning it off so that we could leave and go to New Hope for the winter. Because our whole thing was not, what do you call it? We can't stay at this site for the winter. It gets too cold. So narratively, we can't stay there. Right? So we're going to like the warmer New Hope place instead of Sylvanwood. And like next game will be at the other site. Right? The winter site. Which it needs to be, because fuck.
Yeah.
Too cold. Oh, what about the Tamara explosions and the arcane counter magics and shit? I forgot.
That did happen.
I forgot a whole bunch of shit. So
this your conversation with Tamara. We need to back up all the way.
Rewind. I know I'm on Sunday, but we're rewinding all the way to Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh no, Saturday morning. I took Tamaru aside and I said, "All right, Tamaru, we're gonna talk about how you fucking use magic you don't understand and fuck everything up all the time." Basically, that's what I said. And we were having like a private conversation off the side. I basically said to him like, "Tamaru, private conversation," and I walked away. Yeah. And he was like, "But okay," and then just like followed me like down a path so that we were completely alone.
Yeah.
I could have like murdered him. And I was like, we need to talk about your irresponsibility with magic because you keep fucking things up. And I don't care if you hurt yourself. I don't give a shit about you. What I care about is that this thing that you have summoned with your stupid magic that you don't know how to control has hurt my friends and hurt my people and hurt my swarm. Yeah. And that is unacceptable. So we're going to talk about what you're going to do in the future. What you're going to do in the future, Tamaru, is when you have a magical issue and you aren't sure what you should do about it, you're going to come and see me and I'm going to tell you what to do about it. Like, it's basically what I said. Like, I'm a better wizard than you. That's not what I mean, obviously. He's quite powerful these days.
Yeah. And it's not like saying like you are a better player than Tamaru's player.
No.
That's not the thing.
Not at all. It was literally just a conflict about he is very capable of like, ooh, what'll it do? Whereas Aaron's more like, I need to know what it does before I do it, kind of thing. So just different kinds of wizards, you know. And so I'm talking with him about it. And eventually we come to this decision where I'm like, okay, tell me about what we need to know about. And he's like, well, my staff is like the key to some relics that Sumendar needs. And it's got like 12 ritual masks on it, so I can't see what it actually does. So we can't. And I'm trying to think of like, how can I penetrate a ritual mask without breaking it? Because he's like, if we break the ritual mask, it might destabilize the object. Yeah. And we don't want to like have this arcane staff of doom blow up. Yeah. Right? We're like, okay, cool. So I'm going to figure out a way to penetrate the ritual mask. So I'm going to consult with my various, you know, like people of means and figure that out, you know? And that's fine, right? And we have this conversation. And what I do when I'm leaving is like, this is just to remind you that you don't fuck with magic. Ego whip. And I just ego whip him. Yeah. And then I'm like, the next one will be a lot larger. Like if I have to do this, I have to have this conversation again. Yeah. Right? And so we walk away. And then later on, I'm trying to figure this out. I have a couple of conversations with Tamaru throughout like the various small parts of the day where that happens. And then Ray comes back into camp after going to get dinner.
Oh no, it was in the morning.
Oh, going to get breakfast on Sunday morning.
Yeah. Oh, because we were asked to.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Dante, I came out of the tent in the morning, and Dante and some guy I've never met are standing out front of the tent, like they've been waiting for like a long time for us to just wake up. They've been standing there. And I came out of the tent. I'm like bedheaded and like headed to the bathroom. Yeah. And they're like, Aaron, can you help us with a ritual? I'm like, they're gonna piss, you know? And I come back and they're like, we want to do a healing battery. We want to put some rituals on this guy. I'm like, I've never seen this guy before, so I non-committally be like, have you asked this person, and this person? Yeah. And they're like, no, we haven't. Where do they stay? I'm like, I don't fucking know. And then I like went back to bed, basically, or not back to bed, but I went back inside to like get properly ready. And they wandered off to do their ritual, presumably. But so I was sitting outside, you know, and in the Sunday morning, like in my chair.
And we kind of like made the purposeful decision of like not. Like, we don't want to do rituals.
We didn't go and do rituals with them.
With people that we don't know.
Yeah, but also we got told we couldn't do rituals earlier in the game, so I wasn't really sure how to take that, so I just didn't want to do it.
Yeah, fair.
Because, like, there wasn't enough staff to, like, deal with all the ritual stuff and marshal everything, so I don't want to be there.
Yeah, it was kind of weird that, like, we were told no, but other people were told yes later on.
Yeah, strange. But anyway, it's fine. That's not the point I'm on. The point I'm on is we sat down and Ray was like, well, I'm going to go get my breakfast at the tavern. So she's going to go get her breakfast. Apparently she ate her breakfast and she came out of the tavern and they were doing the ritual like right nearby. Yeah. And somebody in the ritual circle was like, don't come any closer. We're doing a ritual, you know, to Raydrillin. Yeah. And Raydrillin was like, I won't. you know? And she starts walking, like, around the ritual circle because she needs to leave, you know?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, seriously, don't come any closer. You can't cross the line. You can't cross the line, you know?
Yeah.
Don't cross the line. And she's like, oh, you don't want me to cross the line? You know, like, okay, kind of thing. And they're like, or, you know, getting all hostile at her. And then she's like, I don't believe you're actually doing a ritual. And they go, what? What do you mean? You're doing, you know, like, because this is like conversation that happens. And what do you mean we're not doing a ritual? She's like, I have never seen anyone speak to someone outside the circle as much as you are currently doing. Basically, like, you're taking all this time to chastise me. Shouldn't you be focusing on the ritual?
Yeah.
You know, and what she expected was for them to be like, you're right, and like focus in on the ritual. But what happened was somebody was like, don't make me rebuke you away from the circle, you know. Which, by the way, would be a stupid idea because you're crossing magic across a circle, which means you get a blackstone.
Which is like real bad.
So
it's a completely empty threat.
It's a completely empty threat. You can't
unless you're an idiot.
Unless you want to fuck your own ritual up. So like, don't make me rebuke you away from the circle.
And Rachel knows this.
And Rachel goes, well, don't make me repel you out of the circle. You know, and one of the guys is like, you can't cast magic, you know, like really, really like offhand. And she's like, oh, I don't know anything about magic? Really? And she just picks Tamaru's staff up and goes, arcane counter magic enchantment. And the whole world stops. Right? Apparently one of the guys was like, that's not a real, you're just faking it. It's like, you can't fake calls, my bro. Like, I just did that. That just happened. You know? So they go to plot camp and they're like, I just counter magic this staff. Or, you know, like, we're going to take a ritual mask off or whatever. And plot was like, no, something bad, really, really bad happens. So what happens is the staff explodes and at a certain distance, everybody takes 100 arcane. Which is like an absolutely ridiculous amount of damage. Everybody should be dead. So she goes back and they all set back up and the staff explodes. Everybody takes 100 arcane. The ritual backlashes and like a bunch of scrolls are destroyed and like a bunch of resources are lost. And like this is all because they fucking had to like lip off Ray. You know what I mean? Like you made the mistake of thinking you could talk down to this person.
Because
they proved to you that they don't give a shit about your little circle. It was like, wow! The escalation was crazy, and I love it so much. Tammy didn't actually want that to happen. She thought it would just
Rachel did not intend to like.
She didn't intend to blow it up, right? It would have just been like a ritual mask falls off and whatever. Like
she makes her point.
She makes her point that she knows shit about magic.
And walks away.
The explosion was unintentional, but she came back to plot camp. Or not to plot camp. She came back to our camp. And was like, I think I fucked up. I'm like, what'd you do? She's like, I blew up Tamaru's staff. I'm like, what? And so she tells me this whole story, and I'm like, they'll come talk to us if they want to talk to us, but I don't really care. And
then I think
I said I'll talk to Tamaru because it's his staff you broke, you know, and like he might be mad. But I went to see him, and he was like, no, it's totally cool. I had a feeling the staff was made of 12 ritual masks and nothing else. And by destroying one and having it detonate, my theory is proven correct. So technically, I learned something. You know, he was like, I got hit with 100 arcane, but whatever the fuck, it doesn't matter. You know, he was like, kind of didn't care. And I was talking to him like, well, that solves our problem. Well, the key is gone. Sumendar's key is gone. He can't find all the stuff because he can't use your key because it's gone. And he's like, actually, the knowledge is in my head now. And I'm like, fuck. Alter memory. I will remove it from your head. Was my next thought. And he went, and he like leaned down as if I was just gonna suck it out of his brain, like right there. And I'm like, no, Tamara, I need a ritual circle and a ritual. It's not for now.
That's so good.
But like we had that conversation, and I'm like, all right, that's the plan. We'll remove it from your head. And then there's no way Sumendar can get it. The only way I can imagine he could get it after that would be Nostromus. But that's it. Right? Like, 100 arcane seems like a lot. How did people survive that? The thing was, there were people alive outside the radius, so it was like everybody fell over, but then they got healed.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was like in a really...
It's in a public area.
Yeah.
So it's like people didn't, but then they got back up. So Tamaru wasn't mad. Even like the other people involved in the ritual weren't really mad. Samvel was like, that was hilarious. He was involved in the ritual. He's like, hey. So there's a whole lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But so that happened. Yeah, Bruce was mad, but I don't like I can't. So somebody told me like Bruce will not do any blacksmithing for you anymore. And whatever, and I'm standing next to Ringlet when this happens, and I just go like, I have this dwarf here who does all the same things. Hello. Like, she isn't mad at me. Big whoop.
Yeah, like, we
also,
work really well.
Also, people may have been mad, but literally no one who was mad approached me about being mad about it. No one had the wherewithal to be mad to my face, right? Maybe to Radralin's face, but not to mine. Nobody came to like make me as a camp leader claim responsibility for it. No one at all. Like, so I was just like, cool, I win. Like, it's fine. But yeah, it was like a circumstance we could not have predicted happening. Like, there is no way that we could predict 100 arcane damage was going to happen by dispelling one ritual mask.
Yeah.
Right? It was just like, it was completely off the charts weird. So, that happened.
Yep.
Then it was the last mod. Last mod time.
Slightly before the last mod. Tamaru's egg hatched.
Oh, yeah. Tamaru exploded.
Became a father.
Yeah, Tamaru exploded. Phoenix burst from his pocket.
Yeah.
That he had been trying to hatch, and he crumbled to ash.
Yep.
And hit a bunch of people for elemental damage, which was rude.
Yeah.
But I had an elemental shield, so don't care.
Yep.
And then he came back later as a fire elf.
Yeah,
which is cool.
After the final mod.
After the final mod. He was NPCing the final mod.
Yeah.
And then he came back as a fire elf after the Phoenix hatched, because that was like the plan.
So like, I collected his ashes. It was great. So we could like give Tamaru like the leftover heat.
The ashes of Tamaru.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that happened as well. But the final mod was a bunch of Church of Light guys trying to fight us with an angel and one guy Lionhearted. I summoned a magic shield for the first time ever. And I swear to fucking God, I got so many comments after game that were like, what the fuck? Like, what? I can't hurt you. You know? Cause like, with the shield and the psionic spear, I'm like a martial class without being a martial class.
Yeah.
I'm swinging for 5 magic, and I have a shield, and the shield will not break to any amount of damage because it's a magic shield.
Yeah.
And like, let's just say that their little like martial Church of Light guys were not a threat. Like, even if I used no spells, I was out-marshalling the martial characters.
Yeah.
Which felt really good to me. That's the first time that's ever happened, and the first time I've ever felt good about, like, melee combat. Because I'm not good at boffer fighting. But it felt good. The shield is super effective.
Yeah, the shield also that, like, that Tammy made that you're using is, like, one that I've used as well, and it's just such a good size.
It's a good shield, and it's a good size. There was a point during the fight where I was fighting the angel. I was spell striking the angel for like every ego spell I had. I exercised it like 4 times. But there was a point where it was swinging 3 slay, like 150 slay. And I held it swinging a 3 slay for like 20, 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Like just blocking with the shield. Because it doesn't trigger on the shield because it's a magic shield. But it doesn't do any damage. So I'm just like catching this 2-handed sword with my shield and just like poking away at this angel while it's trying to like slay me for 150 damage. And then when it finally does hit me in like the ankle, I just go, magic armor. Your Nail's face was just like, fuck. It was really good. It's really good. I was quite happy. It was like, I totally wasted your time. Like, So it's like, even when you hit me, I got protections to survive getting hit by your hits.
Yeah.
So it's real good. But so that last mod felt really good for me, like, combat-wise. I felt like I was really, like, in my own element, like, winning and
I felt really good, too, because I had, like, a shield and like, my little dagger and my sword.
I didn't hit the ground once, which is saying a lot considering the amount of times that I have hit the ground in previous mods.
Oh, see, that was me this time. I just kept on, like, falling over because everything was swinging for body, and I'm like, crap.
Yeah, you were getting nasty mangled.
Yeah, but I was also, like, charging the angel every single time because I could, like, hated race angelic demonic.
You were getting hit with, like, light bolts and stuff as well.
Oh, yeah, I was getting focus fired. But, I mean, I opened up the mod by saying, like, hey, you people threatening us, Avatar!
Yeah, they were, like, doing their little, like, threat, and while they were threatening us, like, from afar, Siobhan just goes... I channel Sybil to grant Avatar! Like, basically like She-Ra transforming in front of them, like, bitch, fight me! Basically, like, your threats are nothing!
Yeah. Which is really funny, because, like, they do the threats, and then, like, Quiet's hanging around, and he's like, you know what, actually, no, I'm running away. Later, and Mom's like, shh, Avatar!
Avatar. Yeah. You had a good time with Avatar this time, yeah. And your new sword is really nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's really nice for Avatar. She got a new sword specifically for Avatar.
Yeah. Specifically, like, it never lasts, like, more than a minute, because, like, someone, like, focuses me and takes me down.
Sure, but still.
But...
it's cool. And that's basically it. Like, the game was kind of over after that.
Yeah. Oh, there was a...
we talked, like,
Tamara's hug.
Oh, yeah. Dave says, can we see the sword? You want to grab it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, it's in the car.
I can still go
Okay,
get
yeah,
it.
great, fine. So she's gonna go get the sword. I'll tell you about the hug. So Tamaru came back as a fire elf after the mod, like regenerated as a fire elf. And Ragerlin did something completely out of character. The prickliest, nastiest wild elf that, like, exists hugged him. Like, happy he was alive and back. Like, just gave him a hug, basically. After, like, you know, doing mean stuff to him. Because that's what we do. But, like, gave him a hug. And everybody was like, aw. And she's like, don't aw! Like, really, really angry when she stopped. And I think Samvel cast a forget on Tamaru, so he would forget it ever happened. And, like, a bunch of people, like, she paid Victor off to, like, say it never happened with a bunch of gold she found on the battlefield. Stuff like that, you know? It was, like, a really heartfelt moment from a very, like, prickly character about, like, some real care, you know? And it was good. It was really nice. It was a very, like, potent feeling. Yeah, so that was fun. Then we had, like, some Gen Vespin chats for a little while the game was, like, ending. I cut a halo from an angel, but we don't know if it actually, like, will work as the halo that I need, because we don't know if I get to keep it or not, so we'll find out. I'll ask in an email or something. And then... yeah, and then Iman had a letter from Ilias that I'm not going to go into because it's Ilias's thing, and I don't want to like spoil anything. But she had a letter from Ilias about, like, Ilias leaving for a little while, and yeah, that was kind of like the resolution of the game. I feel like at that point, that was kind of it. That was kind of the deal. I thought it was a good game. It definitely wasn't like a Halloween game, basically. But, I defended, yeah, no, you're right. At the very end of game, I defended Ringlet from a Holy Warrior. That was fun. An angel attacked Ringlet, saying that she had wronged the, like, Leandra or something. And it deathed her, and then I was just like, how about fuck you? And I just spell struck it with Ego Burn a bunch of times, and it died. It tried to death me, but I had a shield magic, so whatever. It's dead now. I was like, I'm not gonna let this thing kill Ringlet. Fuck that. Dude, die, Angel. Everybody was going like, wait, no, don't. I'm like, fuck that. Just die. So, ringlet's fine. Everything's cool.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the end. Of the game. I mentioned the letter, but I didn't want to say anything about it.
Yeah. It's probably that is a plot to continue.
We had a big talk. Let's just put it that way. Siobhan has her various.
I just want to shout out to Ilias, person who makes Iman feel her feelings in like all sorts of weird ways.
Yeah.
Ugh. Okay.
All right, so show off your things. This is her dagger.
This is my new dagger. I didn't do anything to this one. This is just out of the box Callie dagger. I
It's
ordered
nice.
another one.
It's so nice. She has a second one coming. Yeah.
It's so good.
So good.
This is like...
Yes, we understand daggers. Thank you.
It's good.
And your sword?
My sword. So this is the one. So I painted it to kind of match the dagger because the blade.
It was much lighter before, like
Yeah.
very silver instead of like iron.
Yeah, and it also like there's this like pattern embossing that I did, so I did that in the white.
She painted it white instead of leaving it the same color as the metal.
Yeah. So yeah.
So it's super cool, right? That's her avatar sword. When she avatars, she uses that and a shield. It's really cool.
Yeah, and it helped us all. Yeah.
I think it's the Herseer?
Yeah, the Herseer.
The Herseer and the Celtic.
Yeah, so it's like a tiny version of the Herseer. It's not their fancy version.
We've seen the bigger version of the Herseer because Archian has it.
Yeah, Archian
He has like the big two-hander version of that sword. Which
so
is really
like Iman went up to it and commented like, "I like this sword. It feels good.
It's a
like,
good sword.
This is one of my favorite. This reminds me of swords. It's a good sword."
So overall thoughts about the game, my love? Like now that we're in the final throes here.
I think in terms of just like my LARP experience, it is one of the better games that I've had in a really long time.
I definitely think Zenithstrand wise, it was a pickup from the previous 3.
Yeah, it kind of feels like
it wasn't a Halloween game though. Like it didn't feel Halloween.
It wasn't a Halloween game. But that's fine. Like I'm not necessarily as invested in the Halloween aspect.
I would have liked to see the aspect of fear because it's always like a really good role playing moment for me or for you or for someone.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we didn't experience that to its effect.
But that didn't really take away from my experience.
No, I mean neither really. I'm just saying I would have liked to have seen.
Yeah, I had some Halloween related plans, but like because I couldn't do rituals.
Couldn't do summon the wisp. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be my plan for next month.
Yeah. I think more rituals next month because I didn't want to waste the duration of the scrolls by casting a circle this month.
Yeah. Because
we're only at the site for this next time and I can't move it, so.
Yeah. I just really wanted to summon a wisp.
I know.
Hallows.
I know you did. You get a spooky one.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll still get a spooky one. You have a lot of tokens.
Yeah, I did trade for a lot of tokens.
You get a spooky wisp.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I think my thoughts were like, I love the game except for the Mordegeist, but that's like that's not the fault of the game. The Mordegeist is like this stupidly immutable part of Underworld that I don't like. I think there needs to be some plot thread resolution to this very boring, like, thread. We've seen it too many times. When horror gets irritating, it's time to retire it.
Yeah. In
my opinion. And, I mean, it's been around for a long time, so I don't know that my opinion's going to matter very much. Just saying. Yeah. That's my sort of take on it. I really enjoyed the game except for that. I think a lot of my enjoyment was combat related this game because playing with protections and psionics felt really potent. It's been a while since I've been able to be like, I'm good in combat. You know what I mean? Like, because when I had witchcraft, it was like contingency sleeps and eye for an eyes and like dodges and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, I haven't had any defenses for like 4 months. And it's really sucks to be like, I am strong and coming at you and I'm dead.
I feel you. I understand.
It's not really great. So it felt a lot better this game. Which helped me get the rest of the game going. The moments with Argus were super fun and like very roleplay heavy.
Yeah.
I enjoy interacting with people I know out of game won't be mad at me in hostile ways because at the end of game, we can pat each other on the back and be like, yeah, you know, it was so cool. And like, I can be angry in game without feeling like guilty out of game, right? And it's that whole like mix of feelings, right? Where it's like, I love being enemies with my friend.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's the most fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
But yeah, I think that's my takeaway.
I was rocking, how much armor was I rocking that game? I was rocking like 90 armor at any given time if I had a bark skin. It's like stupid.
I think I chucked like 3 bark skins your way over the game.
Mage plate plus bark skin is 70 on its own, plus unholy armor when I get it. Stuff like that. It's like, it's crazy.
It was so... Sorry, just that little moment at the start of game where Erin comes back out of her deep circle of study and like we have like this conversation and Imon's like, okay, I'll like place a bless on you and have you, and you just like grab my hand back and it's like cast like a protections, and I'm like, wait, this isn't witchcraft.
Like, I've been studying.
Like, this is like, because Erin, like, as they started to get to know each other, like, recently, like, after the post-witchcraft, Erin would always go like, you know, I could help you with this contingency sleep.
Yeah, like, I could give you this witchcraft buff.
It's very powerful.
Yeah.
And Iman would be like, no.
Well, I think there's a great Erin character transition between getting her power from elsewhere and like being very like arcanely powerful herself.
Yeah.
Like learning like and having her own knowledge rather than pulling like demonic power from elsewhere.
Yeah.
I really miss witchcraft, and I really miss the things that made my character special, like being a witch. Right?
Yeah.
Like it hurts me to not do it anymore. But I got to call in a demon deal this game, which felt good, and like, there's some elf politics coming up that I'm going to crush, which will be fun. And I'm really looking forward to countersuing, basically.
Yeah. Lawyer Erin. I love Lawyer Erin.
I'm really looking forward to being like, all of these claims are spurious, and also these claims against you. It'll be fun. But so, yeah. I think that's basically the takeaway. Excited for Underworld Umberflow next week. The first game.
Yay!
It's very exciting.
I'm panicking, but that's okay.
You'll be fine. You'll be okay. I'm not worried about you. I thought of a new character for Umberflow that isn't a goblin.
It's pretty cool idea.
Friends. I thought of a new character, and I think they're going to be fun. I was like, Grubby's an interesting thought, but she's also not really fully formed. She's like kind of just like a goblin, you know? So I've come up with this other character idea that might be more fun. That might be more interesting. I won't get to play them the first game because I'm NPCing for our lovely head shaper here, or whatever your title is. I don't know.
That is an appropriate title.
So I'm NPCing for the first game, but I'm thinking I might make a throwing weapon based Ajanti good luck charm. So the ships of the Moraine fleet have the Ajanti are part of the Moraine fleet, sort of, and they use the Ajanti as like, when we're blown off course, they're the good luck charm that leads us back to the right port. They know the rituals or whatever and stuff. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is make an Ajanti that has a medium weapon like sword, and then like a shit ton of throwing knives, and then just put all my skills into throwing knives and just 50 slay people with throwing knives. And just be like a really arrogant good luck charm, like, I am here, so there is no way you can possibly lose. My mere presence makes it impossible. You know, like that kind of stuff. Like, the luck that I radiate is immutable. Stuff like that. I think it would be fun.
Yeah, just the PC who runs in and says, nothing can go wrong!
Yeah, like, I dare you to come at me! Basically. I think she should be fun. And I also don't have to paint my face green if I do that, which will be nice. I think it'd be nice. But yeah, so that's my plan. I think for that. Yeah. Cool. I don't think I got anything else to say other than that. So that's the stories for today, my friends. Thank you for joining me for stories about Underworld Zenithstrand and our October game with Aaron and Amon. Thank you, Siobhan, for joining me for our lovely stories. Let's end them here. And goodbye, VOD people.